Wedding days can be quite overwhelming, and the last thing you want to worry about is your makeup melting off or looking shiny in all those photographs. I've got you covered with this stunning matte bridal look. I'm Shanika Casimir, pro bridal MUA, and I love sharing the how and why to all things bridal glam. To combat excess oil and ensure a long-lasting matte finish, I've carefully curated a selection of oil-controlling and mattifying products that will be the secret weapons in this look. As always, I'm beginning with skin prep. I start by cleansing the surface of the face with micellar water, followed by an oil minimizing toner in the T-zone. This takes away any surface oil and dirt and aids in the longevity of makeup. Next, I'm applying a moisturizing primer. This is the MAC Hyperreal Skin Canvas to ensure her skin stays hydrated without adding any extra shine. Once that moisturizer has had a chance to absorb, it is time to go in with a mattifying primer. I am taking this primer into her T-zone. It's going to provide a smooth base, minimize the appearance of pores, and of course, control oil throughout the day. My pro tip is to also layer this in your brows. Our brows are not just the hair, but their skin underneath that can produce a lot of oil, especially in stressful situations. To enhance or even create the illusion of fuller, well-defined brows, I am using a brow pencil by Morphe in the shade Java. I choose a shade that matches the natural brow color, complements the hair color, or even opt for a shade that is slightly lighter for a softer look. Using light feathery strokes, I am filling in any sparse areas. I define the shape with a lighter concealer. I start at the arch of the brows, which is crucial in giving the face structure and expression. Fabulous wedding brows always start with a well-groomed shape. I recommend my brides-to-be to get their eyebrows professionally groomed. That's waxing or threading. Get this done a few days before your wedding. Never the day of or even a day before. Another very important reason why I sometimes opt for a lighter brow pencil shade is because when you apply your lighter concealer like I'm doing now, it automatically makes the brow look darker. So if you go too dark with the brow pencil, it can create a harsh brow that does not photograph well. I'm also going to use that same concealer. I'm going to blend it on the eyelid to create an eyeshadow base. If you notice, it creates a blank canvas, which is going to help your eyeshadows be more vibrant, and of course the end game is longevity with all steps. Next, I'm going to use a loose translucent powder just to set that concealer. By setting it, it takes away that tackiness so that your eyeshadows do not skip when blending. Using a fluffy blending brush, this is actually from a brush set off Amazon. I have it linked down below, but I'm going to use a fluffy blending brush and a warm bronzer as the transition shade. This would create a seamless gradient from brows to lid and serve honestly as the North Star for all other blending. To add dimension, I'm going to focus on the outer V area of her eye. This is very intentional because she does have smaller eyes. Using deeper matte browns from the Master Mattes palette by Makeup by Mario and a smaller blending brush, I'm going to apply the color only to the outer corner of the eye, creating a sideways V shape, blending it softly inward halfway in the crease for a soft, defined crease line. I wanted to intense the smokiness with just a touch of black with an even smaller brush in the outer V. Make sure that you keep it saturated in the outermost corner of the eye if you are recreating this look. Before I apply the lid color, I want to softly define the area where it will be applied with the same concealer used under the brows with a flat concealer brush. I follow the ball of the eye until I meet the outer V shades using a patting motion for even coverage. This step is so important because if it is patchy, the lid shade will also be patchy and it does not photograph well. Lid, you can choose a matte shade that matches your wedding color scheme, complements your eye color, or even a shade that complements your skin tone. And that's what I like to do with brides of color. I don't want that shade to be too bright because that can appear harsh in person and on camera. I'm going to use a very small blending brush to pat this over that concealer. I want to make sure that I pat the most of that product out in the inner part of the eye, and as I work my way to the outer V, I should have less product on my brush. To marry those two colors, the outer V and that light matte shade, I'm going to use a warm brown shade and just blend in between those two areas to create a seamless transition. I'm going to anchor this look with a black waterproof eyeliner, just smudging it back and forth in the lash line. I did not want a thick line because it would take away her lid space, especially when she opens up her eyes. I'm also going to take a thin angled brush just to make sure that that line is smooth and even. This is also going to help conceal the lash band once I put on false eyelashes. I'm going to move on to complexion, but I want to clean up under the eye, and I'm not using micellar water. I'm not using a makeup remover wipe. I am using eye cream. I found this to be a 2-for-1 step because I get to remove any fallen eyeshadow, but I also get to hydrate under the eyes. Hydrated under eyes are less likely to crease, which provides a more youthful look. Many women of color have discoloration around their mouth, underneath their eyes, and post-acne breakout scars. To balance this out or to counteract that, I'm going to use a technique called color correction. And color correction is when you use a specific color to neutralize or counteract certain skin concerns or discoloration. That tone is actually bluish purple. So to counteract that, I'm going to use a peach or orange color corrector to really brighten and lift that tone. By doing this, when I put my foundation on there, and if my bride or bridesmaid or client is in flash photography, it does not have that green or grayish flash back. So I'm going to take this color in all the areas where I see that discoloration, and then I'm going to set it with a Danessa Myricks loose powder. This also helps with oil control. Whenever I have a bride that has oily skin or oily combination skin, I really want to achieve 3 things when it comes to complexion. I want a more balanced complexion, even coverage, and I want to address oily skin concerns such as pores and texture. Applying 2 shades of foundation can help create a balanced complexion. I'm going to use a slightly darker shade on the outer perimeter of the face and a lighter shade in the center, which is going to help add dimension and create the appearance of more even skin tone. I'm going to start blending these foundations starting in the center of the face with a lighter color, and I'm going to blend outwards and gradually transition to the darker shade. And as you can see, it's going to create a seamless, natural looking gradient that also matches the neck and the chest. Blend the foundation. I'm going to use a technique called stippling. Stippling is when you gently tap or dab the foundation to apply and blend. This technique is going to help evenly distribute the product on the skin and give you a smooth finish. It is also beneficial in helping to minimize the appearance of large pores by preventing excess product from settling into them. I just want to take a moment to appreciate this blend, this color match. It looks so beautiful. And look at how this shade is just melting into her skin, but it's also beautifully transitioning from the face to the neck to the chest. When you combine the stippling technique and also using those 2 shades of foundation, it just really combines to give you a smooth finish. The lighter shade applied in the center is going to create an illusion of smoother skin, while the darker shade on the outer perimeter is also going to help contour and balance the overall complexion. This is key, especially with brides who have their shoulders or their chest out in their wedding dresses. I am using the Pat McGrath concealer in the shade M21 to build coverage underneath the eyes and to highlight the center of the face. Using a flat concealer brush, I'm going to paint this product underneath the eyes, and I'm also going to focus on areas that I want to highlight or bring forward. And these areas are the center of the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, and just a little bit on the chin. Y'all, I'm really thinking about switching to just Pat McGrath concealers in my kits. They are super pigmented and a little bit goes a long way. That's why I really like to just paint it, because I get to control where the product goes and I get to evenly distribute it in those small areas. Let me give you a little peek into a technique that I call bottom-up blending. Bottom-up blending is my strategic approach for achieving a seamless and natural blend. So you're going to take your concealer brush, and I switch from a flat concealer brush to one that is more dense. I love this concealer brush by Rare Beauty. And bottom-up blending just takes a twist on blending concealer. So instead of immediately blending the concealer towards the lash line and then you start blending downward, you're actually going to work your way backwards towards the eye. This technique is going to help ensure that majority of the product is concentrated where you need it most, and for many of us that is closer to the lower lash line. So I'm going to start blending, and I'm going to start tapping again using that stippling motion with my brush, and just gently tap and blend the concealer into the foundation, and then I'm going to gradually blend upwards towards the lower lash line. The concealer will naturally diffuse towards the lower lash line and provide just this beautiful gradual blend. And now I'm just further blending by taking my foundation brush just to blend out any lines of demarcation. Before starting any makeup application, I take a moment to analyze my client's face, and I want to identify the areas I want to contour. My model bride has a more round face, so I want to focus on the temples, the hollows of the cheeks, the jaw lines, and the sides of the forehead. This is going to create the illusion of more angular features, and it just pops in photography and videography. I'm using the black opal stick foundation in Suede Mocha just to help to give this illusion of shadows. This is also going to just lift the cheekbones, and when I go to the cheeks, I kind of hug the cheekbone and I go from the top of the ear and I'm blending towards the outer corner of the mouth. To brighten up the center of her face even more, I'm going to add a lighter concealer, and notice how I'm keeping it in an even smaller area versus that Pat McGrath concealer that I kind of spread out more. I want to make sure that I keep this brightness only in this area. If you are bride-to-be in the Memphis, Tennessee area and you're looking for a makeup artist, the link below to my bridal forum is the start of us forming a beautiful relationship and getting you the glam that you deserve and that you desire. For some reason, it seems like our skin just eats blush first, and then on top of that, flash photography can just completely eliminate the blush. So that is why I like to layer my liquid blushes with my powder blushes. So I'm going in with a matte liquid blush made by Mitchell. The exact color will be down below. This is going to make sure that the blush shows up vibrant, but also it ensures the longevity of the blush. Now that all of our creams, liquids are on the face, it is time to set with powder, and this is what is going to just lock in everything for that longevity and to give that matte finish. Before I apply any powder underneath the eyes, I took my concealer brush and I blended out any product that may have accumulated underneath the eyes. I love going in with a pressed powder first. It just adds more coverage. It gives another layer of powder, so those oils, they gotta fight to get through those layers before they peek through. So I'm going to press this product underneath the eyes, also on the forehead, really in those areas where I highlighted with the concealer in the center of the face. And then I'm going to use a mineralized skin finish that is her skin tone, and I'm going to press it into the skin. I'm using those stippling motions again just to press it, and so I don't disturb the coverage of the liquids and the creams that I've used underneath. I believe that the pressed powder just acts as a barrier between the foundation and the loose powder, and it provides a more solid base for the loose powder to adhere to, and it just enhances the longevity and the durability of your makeup. Your makeup is a living look on your wedding day. You're going to be moving, expressions, crying. It is a whole lot going on your face, and so I just need that makeup to be locked in so it is budge proof, smudge proof, and it does not shift throughout the day. So now I'm applying the loose powder on top of that pressed mineralized skin finish. I am using a combination of two powders. I have it down below, but you can see the areas. I put it in the same areas where I highlighted, and I'm going to let it bake for just a moment while I go ahead and reinforce that bronzer with the Juvia's Place bronzer. It is the same bronzer color that I use in the crease of her eyes, and I'm going to again stipple this into the skin just to set and reinforce that cream contour or bronzer shade that I used before. I don't know who needs to hear this. This is for makeup artists, makeup wearers, but if you want your makeup to last, especially in the summer heat or in a stressful environment or situation, the key is to layer your creams with your powders. That duality is just going to ensure long wearing makeup. Now I'm going to work underneath the eyes. I'm going to smudge those same darker colors that I used before, and I'm going to press in the powder. This is the technique for that walking filter, and you're going to see just how smooth and airbrush her skin looks. I'm going to press in that powder, not so much sweeping it away. No, I need that powder to go into the skin, and I'm pressing so that I can again evenly distribute it in the skin. I don't want it to just latch on onto one place, but I did use that mineralized skin finish pressed powder underneath, so it should not be any areas that are not already set. So I know this loose powder is not going to gather in any fine lines that can cause creasing right away, and it's very hard to blend away concealer and powder mixed together in the creases. The end result is this beautifully set matte look, but it's not flat because you can see the light and depth of her skin. You can see all the angles. I'm going to add more color by adding the powder blush. I call it Powdered Happiness. I'm going to add it to the apples of her cheeks, but I'm going to blend it toward the outer corner of her eye, or even up towards the apples of her cheeks. It's just going to give more of a flush of color. And for brides, I do like to add on a little bit more than I would usually. I get questions all the time about this brush. It is from that same Amazon brush set. I have it linked below in my storefront. It's by Jessup, and it is a dupe for the Makeup by Ariel Morphe brush set at a much cheaper price. To lock in those powders, I'm going to use the Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Spray, and I'm going to push that setting spray into the skin. I just love how it just melts and marries all of that powder, so it does not have a powdery look, especially in person. To further define and chisel out those cheekbones, I'm going to take a really dense brush and I'm going to go in with a deeper bronzer, and I'm going to focus on the outer portion of her contour. It's just going to snatch those cheekbones in even more. I just love the look that it gives on camera. It is so beautiful, and you can see right now how that side of her face just looks a little bit more chiseled than the other side. And I'm gonna use it on a dense blush because I want to control where I want this product to go. Let's move on to lips. For a long-lasting lip, I love layering my lip liners. This lip liner is my favorite in my kits. It is the NYX Line Loud lip liner in the shade Rebel Kind. It is a great dupe for Chestnut by MAC. You can also catch these on sale at Ulta. But I line her lips with a darker shade. I use a thicker line, and then I'm going to use another one of those NYX liners in the color Total Baller. I'm going to use this to blend out that deeper lip liner, and I'm also going to use this as a base color for my lipstick. these stay in place. They're transfer resistant and they do set pretty quickly, so I have to blend it out quickly as I can, and I'm just gonna fill in the entire lip. I love using lip liners over lipstick at times, especially during the ceremony part for my brides. A lot of brides don't like a glossy lip because they have to kiss their grooms, and I find that these are less likely to transfer and be a fuss for that special moment. Now I'm going to layer this with a matte liquid lipstick by the Memphis brand Kaki Cosmetics. It is a staple in my kits. It is the color Explicit. Yes, it's the color Explicit, and I have it linked below. Y'all, this lipstick stays on so long, and it's the perfect peachy nude. These are just the finishing details. These details just make a difference in the overall look. Also, I love these mascara ones. They're linked below. Get them. They're perfect for marrying false lashes and natural lashes, and also it's so small to get those bottom lashes. I know this is an all matte look, but I just gave her a little kiss of highlight on the tippy top of her cheeks using a very small eyeshadow brush in the Dior highlighter. And then I also added a matte white highlight into the inner corner of the eye just to give that brightness. And with these final details and final touches, that concludes the first part of this look. It is so beautiful. It's matte but not flat. But stay tuned because we're going to change that nude lip to a red lip. Let's get into the reception look. Now, you may prefer a red lip all day, all night. That is perfect. But if you want to change your look and give your guests a little surprise, a red lip is an impactful and simple change. So to do this quickly, I just took away and cleaned off the center of a lip, and I left a little hint of that brown lip liner from the nude look, and I'm going to fill in the lips with a red lip liner. I'm taking Ruby Woo, the lip liner, and Ruby Woo, the lipstick. It is just a classic staple in my kits, and I'm just going to line the lips with the red, and I'm also going to lightly fill it in. I love traditional lipsticks to do this because they just wear a little bit better during the night, especially with vibrant colors like reds or burgundies that tend to wear from the inside of the lips to the outer part of the lips. And I'm going to also use a lip brush to go in and be more detailed when applying that red. Because the makeup is done, I just want to be more precise with my application. Also with red lipstick, or if you change to a more vibrant lipstick, another detail that I like to enhance is blush. Again, blush wears away so quickly, but when you add that vibrant lipstick, it can kind of wash away your blush. So just add a little bit more blush to finish off this beautiful reception look. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, please let me know which lip you prefer. Did you prefer the nude lip or the red lip? Also subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.